Good afternoon. Beautiful day in Seattle. People are wearing the Seahawks gear. It's lively. People are excited. Believe the parade is going to be this Wednesday, so you best believe I'm going to be showing up to that. I have some time right now, so why not take care of some reading. Live in it. Returning once more to the computer metaphor. If habit 1 says you're the programmer and habit 2 says write the program, then habit 3 says run the program. Live the program. And living it is primarily a function of our independent will, our self-discipline, our integrity and commitment, not to short-term goals and schedules or to the impulse of the moment, but to the correct principles and our own deepest values, which give meaning and context to our goals, our schedules, and our lives. As you go through your week, there will undoubtedly be times when your integrity will be placed on the line. The popularity of reacting to the urgent but unimportant priorities of other people in Quadrant 3, or the pleasure of escaping to Quadrant 4, will threaten to overpower the important Quadrant 2 activities you have planned. Your principle center, your self-awareness, and your conscience can provide a high degree of intrinsic security, guidance, and wisdom to empower you to use your independent will and maintain integrity to the truly important. But because you aren't omniscient, you can't always know in advance what is truly important. As carefully as you organize the week, there will be times when, as a primary-centered person, you will need to subordinate your schedule to a higher value. Because you are principle-centered, you can do that with an inner sense of peace. At one point, one of my sons was deeply into scheduling and efficiency. One day he had a very tight schedule, which included down to the minute time allocations for every activity, including picking up some books, washing his car, and dropping Carl, his girlfriend, among other things. Everything went according to schedule until it came to Carol. They had been dating for a long period of time, and he had finally came to the conclusion that a continued relationship would not work out. So, congruent with the efficiency model, he had scheduled a 10 to 15 minute telephone call to tell her. But the news was very traumatic to her. 1.5 hours later, he was still deeply involved in a very intense conversation with her. Even then, the one visit was not enough. The situation was a very frustrating experience for them both. Again, you simply can't think efficiency with people. You think effectiveness with people and efficiency with things. I've tried to be efficient with a disagreeing or disagreeable person, and it simply doesn't work. I've tried to give 10 minutes of quality time to a child or an employee to solve a problem, only to discover such efficiency creates new problems and seldom resolves the deepest concern. I see many parents, particularly mothers with small children, often frustrated in their desire to accomplish a lot because all they seem to do is meet the needs of little children all day. Remember, frustration is a function of our expectations, and our expectations are often a reflection of the social mirror rather than our own values and priorities. But if you have habit 2 deep inside your heart and mind, you have those higher values driving you. You can subordinate your schedule to those values with integrity. You can adopt. You can be flexible. You don't feel guilty when you don't meet your schedules and when you have to change it. Advances of the 4th generation. One of the reasons why people resist being 3rd generation time management is that they lose spontaneity. They become rigid and inflexible. They subordinate people to schedules because the efficiency paradigm of the 3rd generation of management is out of harmony with the principle that people are more important than things. The 4th generation tool recognizes that principle. It also recognizes that the first person you need to consider in terms of effectiveness rather than efficiency is yourself. It encourages you to spend time in Quadrant 2 to understand and center your life on principles to give clear expression to the purposes and values you want to direct your daily decision. It helps you to create balance in your life. It helps you rise above the limitations of daily planning and organize and schedule in the context of the week. And when a higher value conflicts with what you have planned, it empowers you to use your self-awareness and your conscience to maintain integrity to the principles and purposes you have determine our well determined are most important. Instead of using a roadmap, you're using a compass. The fourth generation of self-management is more advanced than the third in five important ways. First, it's principle-centered. More than giving lip service to quadrant 2, it creates a centered paradigm that empowers you to see your time in the context of what is really important and effective. Second, it's conscience directed. It gives you the opportunity to organize your life to the best of your ability in harmony with your deepest values. But also gives you the freedom to peacefully subordinate your schedule to higher values. Third, it defines your unique mission, including values and long-term goals. This gives direction and purpose to the way you spend each day. Fourth, it helps you balance your life by identifying roles and by setting goals and scheduling activities in each key role every week. And fifth, it gives greater context through weekly organizing with daily adaptation as needed, rising above the limiting perspective of a single day and putting you in touch with your deepest values through review of your key roles. The practical thread running through all five of these advances is a primary focus on relationships and result and a secondary focus on time. Delegation, increasing P and C. We accomplish all that we do through delegation, either to time or to other people. If we delegate to time, we think efficiency. If we delegate to other people, we think effectiveness. Many people refuse to delegate to other people because they feel it takes too much time and effort and they could do the work better of themselves. But effectively, delegating to others is perhaps the single most powerful leverage activity there is. Transferring responsibility to other skilled and trained people enables you to give your energies to other high leverage activities. Delegation means growth both for individuals and for organizations. The late J.C. Penney was quoted as saying that the wisest decision he ever made was to let go after realizing that he couldn't do it all by himself any longer. That decision made long ago enabled the development and the growth of hundreds of stores and thousands of people. Because delegation involves other people, it is a public victory and will be included in Habit 4. But because we are focusing here on principles of personal management and the ability to delegate to others as the main difference between the roles of management and independent producer, I'm approaching delegation from the standpoint of your personal managerial skills. A producer does whatever is necessary to accomplish desired results to get the golden eggs. A parent who washes the dishes, an architect who draws up blueprints, or a secretary who types correspondence is a producer. When a person steps up and works with and through people and systems to produce golden eggs, that person becomes a manager in the interdependent sense. A parent who delegates washing the dishes to a child is a manager. An architect who leads a team of other architects is a manager. A secretary who supervises other secretaries and office personnel is an office manager. A producer can invest 1 hour of effort and produce 1 unit of results, assuming no loss of efficiency. Management is a manager, on the other hand, can invest 1 hour of effort and produce 10 or 50 or 100 units through effective delegation. Management is essentially moving the fulcrum over, and the key to effective management is delegation. Gopher delegation. There are basically 2 kinds of delegation: gopher delegation and stewardship delegation. Gopher delegation means go for this, go for that, do this, do that, and tell me when it's done. Most people who are producers have a gopher delegation paradigm. Remember the machete welders in the jungle? They are producers. They roll up their sleeves and get the job done. If they are given a position of supervision or management, they still think like producers. They don't know how to set up a full delegation so that another person is committed to achieve results. Because they are focused on methods, they become responsible for the results. I was involved in a gopher delegation once when our family went water skiing. My son, who is an excellent skier, was in the water being pulled and I was driving the boat. I handed the camera to Sandra and asked her to take some photos, to take some pictures. At first, I told her to be selective in her picture taking because we didn't have much film left. Then I realized she was unfamiliar with the camera, so I became a little more specific. I told her to be sure to wait until the sun was ahead of the boat and until our son was jumping the wake or making a turn and touching his elbow. But the more I thought about our limited footage and her inexperience with the camera, the more concerned I became. I finally said, "Look, Sandra, just push the button when I tell you, okay?" And I spent the next few minutes yelling, take it, don't take it, don't take it. I was afraid that if I didn't direct her every move, every second, it wouldn't be done right. That was true gopher delegation, one-on-one supervision of methods. Many people consistently delegate that way, but how much does it really accomplish, and how many people is it possible to supervise or manage when you have to be involved in every move they make? There's a much better way, a more effective way to delegate to other people, and it's based on a paradigm of appreciation of the self-awareness, the imagination, and the conscience and the free will of other people. I'll take a pause there before we get into stewardship delegation, but I'm gonna take some accountability. Definitely sounds like I was a gopher delegation at one point. I wouldn't say I'm that much of it now, but I do remember when I first started Matmata, I was one of those people who was like, do this, do that, but never really cared for what their growth looked like or what they really wanted to achieve. And I feel like if I have an idea of what stewardship delegation would look like, I would assume it's much more of that. But I want to go back to a topic about the idea of living it, especially the very first couple sentences where it says, habit 1 says you're the programmer, and habit 2 says you write the program. Then habit says you run the program, live the program. And I think this kind of ties into the whole scheduling thing, but if you have an idea, or you're having a goal, or you have a role and you really want to improve in that role, or really want to improve the goal that you have in mind, you have to try it. You have to go out there and get it done. Even the idea of what we were talking about yesterday about showing up, show up, okay? Don't just make a schedule for it not to happen. Or don't make a plan about losing weight or reading more or being able to talk to friends a lot more if you're not going to do it. Go out there and live it. Make mistakes, give it a try, and see what happens. So that's what I have to say on that regard. But there's one thing I definitely want to touch on. I'm trying to remember where it was at. Just give me 1 second. Oh my goodness. I had it in my head just now, but I don't have it as of right now. Oh, I think I got it right now. Never mind. I don't have it. Anyways, good chapter. I think, like I said, the big takeaway is definitely live it. Go out there, try it, and try it with 110% energy. So, run the program, live the program.